Now, this training footage is from a few days ago, the day after the last session that I was able to upload. I've been extremely busy over the last couple of days and I wasn't really able to put anything on. So I don't exactly remember how I felt during this session, but I can have a quick look at the footage and see if the technique gives me an idea of how the things were going. So I started off with the tuck rows here, and the idea was to get as many reps in with as clean a technique as possible. So I was kind of trying to keep my back parallel to the floor, not letting my head move forward, not cheating in any kind of ways. But I'm seeing that now as the reps progress, I'm starting to roll forward, and yeah, this is exactly where I decided to stop the set. So I got about 8 repetitions in this first rep of this first circuit of the 2 that I did. And I think it was solid work compared to the previous time. I was really focused on keeping my body as flat as possible, not cheating by rolling any extremity, either the head or letting the legs fall forward. And supersetting that straight away with some push-ups, again, not going for very, very high repetitions. I think I can do sets of 25 and probably even more repetitions, but because I'm already kind of fatigued from the pulling movement, I'm doing sets of 20. Anyways, at this stage, I can only use these exercises just to grease the movement and just getting some work in, pumping some blood in the tissues and the joints, and just moving around. Same thing that I was doing here with squats. I was kind of experimenting with a different way of doing these squats. I don't know if they're called Indian squats, but basically as I'm lowering down is when I exhale. So it's the opposite breathing pattern that normal squats would usually have. And going for different angles in these internal twists and also the external ones, I want to get as many reps at different angles as possible, because I know that different positions of the arm actually exerts a different kind of pressure and a pull on the muscle, which is inflamed. And also good mornings, the same thing applies as the push-ups, really not going for anything that is too high in repetitions, simply because I know that this kind of exercise is not really something that is not going to elicit any kind of substantial growth, and I am just greasing the movement, pushing some blood in the tissue, really doing some mobilization. Something that can actually, I think, be used for a meaningful progression would be the Sissy squat, because as bodyweight isolation movements go, is one of the tougher ones. Here I'm doing sets of 10 and being really focused on not going as deep as possible just for the sake of that, but going as deep as possible in a way that still keeps the load on the muscle. I'm noticing that around when I'm going all the way down, I kind of deload the quads at the end, and I am feeling a bit of a click in the knee. But when I am going not as low, but keeping constant tension in there, I really feel that the muscles spring back, and it is, I do feel it much more in there. And since this is an isolation movement, and it can only be loaded so much, since I can only do so many repetitions, I think it's good to keep as much tension in there as possible. And going from slightly harder exercise to slightly easier ones, I was doing good mornings. I was feeling a bit of a pull in the back of my knee, so I didn't want to go as deep, trying to bias more the glutes in there, in the concentric part of the movement. And I was also getting some work, strict isolation for the biceps femoris, trying to get some extra blood pumping in there. Overall, it was an okay session, and yeah, this is as much as I can say by just rewatching the footage. Ciao.